Well, we know all kinds of stuff is going to be going on in Beyond the Spider-Verse, and at the center of this is going to be Miguel O'Hara. Spider-Man 2099 has been very well received by fans, but it looks like it's not going to take long before he suits up in a new costume. Let's talk about the recently leaked concept art and this new look for Miguel in the upcoming threequel. Well, Spider-Man 99, who is voiced by Oscar Isaacs, really does pose a pretty significant threat to Miles Morales in Across the Spider-Verse and in its upcoming follow-up, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Now, within this movie we learned he's basically willing to do whatever it takes to stop Miles from interfering or even stopping canon events from happening altogether. This definitely impacts the multiverse, and I suspect Miguel has some knowledge that Miles is missing, but Spider-Man does what's right, and this has put them in opposition. Now, obviously there's going to be a final showdown between Miguel O'Hara and Miles Morales, and it appears Miguel might have a completely different look by the time this happens. Now recently, one of the artists who worked on the project dropped some pretty interesting photos and gave us a peek at Miguel O'Hara's new suit. Now these come via Jake Panion, who is a visual development artist on Across the Spider-Verse, and he gives us a great idea of what the character could potentially look like in the upcoming sequel. Let's go ahead and check him out. Well, this costume is a little different, but it's classic for Spider-Man 2099. Unlike O'Hara's blue and red suit in the second movie, this costume features white on both the mask and the chest, along with a slightly less skull-inspired spider emblem on the chest of the costume. Now, Panion did note that comic book artist Chris Anka, who also worked on Spider-Verse 2, actually developed this particular design. And then Anka went on to post some more concept art of that upcoming suit, which does provide some other interesting details. Check them out. One of the things I love about the Spider-Verse is all the costumes, and the idea that Miguel O'Hara will be getting a new suit in the upcoming movie really shouldn't be a surprise. Now, this is quite a departure from the costume in the comics, and that's perfectly okay with me, because the costume doesn't make the man, and it definitely fulfills the spirit of the character from the comics. What makes the man is the character, and I am really hoping by the end of the third movie that Miguel O'Hara kind of reverts back more to the hero version of the character, instead of kind of being a zealot-like personality who is absolutely inflexible in the face of some of these problems. Like I said, Spider-Man is a hero in every world, so although Miguel's intentions are to save the multiverse, I actually think it's been a little bit off for the character, and I'm hopeful he sees the light and realigns himself with Miles, Gwen, and the rest of the team. Now, how much we get to see this new suit? Well, I'm hopeful for a lot. I suspect the upgrade might be right at the beginning of the film, and we'll get it throughout the whole project, but as you know, they're very early on in Beyond the Spider-Verse, so it's still unclear to me whether this suit will even be used. So we probably should be prepared for that. Across the Spider-Verse is finishing its theatrical run, so I suspect we're going to have some updates soon on the release date for the next film. I'm not expecting it in March, so I think we need to be patient, but if that actually does happen, we're going to have to wait and see.